All right, and hello everyone. Hopefully that break was short enough and you're all ready for our next run. This is personally the moment I've been waiting for the whole day. I really like the Spyro GBA games, and it's not too often we get to see them run, so I'm really hyped. Gonna bring on RubberDuckyAssassin. He's gonna run Season of Flame any percent.
What up, guys?
All right, so I think like traditionally, like not too many people like go to the GBA game. So what particularly brings you to Season of Flame?
So when I was a little kid, I didn't actually play that many video games, but two of my first Game Boy games was Season of Flame and Season of Ice, which were the first and second Game Boy games. I'm pretty sure for Spyro. And this one, particularly after I kind of grew up and saw the game play and played it a little bit. Season of Flame has a lot cooler, faster paced movement, and it just really resonated with me as a speedrunner. So that's kind of why I decided to pick it up as a speedrun.
Yeah, as someone who runs Season of Ice, this is definitely really fast paced in comparison. So,
Yep.
um, best of luck on the run and count down when you're ready.
All right. So before I start, I just want to. There's a lot of kind of intricate information that we're going to be throwing at you. I'm probably going to miss some stuff, but I'll do my best to explain everything. But at the beginning of the game, we start our timer on the selection of a new file. Well, not on the file, but um, when we hit "Are you sure?" So whenever you do a run of this category, you want to make sure that you have at all any kind of percentage on a file already. So you'll be creating a new file on a file that's already been made. What happens here is that it'll mess with the game a little bit and make the speedrun a little bit faster, and I'll get into why later. So yeah, I'll just say like we can start timer on go. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So instantly, I'm going to soft reset my console and start up the game again. So what just happened is I basically just like messed with the game's coding. I guess I'm not the best at explaining all the intricate strats. I started spearrunning this game uh, back in October, and I have kind of been on and off with it. And I actually just recently started picking it up again, um, about like 4 days ago. So to um, what's it called? De-rust from the game, so I can do this for you guys. Oh, I messed up. That's okay. So part of what we did was we made sparks a little glitchy. So typically, when you start the game, you'll have 5 lives. Sparks will be following you, um, all that fun stuff. But right now, we only have 0 lives, and Sparks is invisible right now. Uh, so uh, it'll fix itself as we collect another life. But until then, we have unlimited amount of lives, and our health meter is a little wonky and it's inaccurate. I was actually attempting a strat where you skip this firefly. Um, it saves, I want to say, probably around 30 to 40 seconds skipping it. Oh, actually, I think it's like 20 to 30. Um, and you back up with a firefly that's a tiny bit faster a little later in the run. It's barely worth it, but it's really cool to do. But since I fell off, I just decided to get the firefly anyway. Because if you mess up any of the movement, it's really not worth it. It's just a very optimal route choice, and it just saves a couple seconds. Uh, I always like to try to do it in runs. I might just do it anyway, just because it's a pretty cool strat. But what we're doing here, you start the game without having your fire ability because Ripto takes it away from us because he's a bully. Oh, I got it still. Okay. Um, that might be a problem, but I'll see what happens later. But we start the game with no fire ability, so we go here to get that fire ability. We actually just do the whole entire stage backwards. You're supposed to like kind of run around, see the hay barrels or the hay stacks or whatever, and then like go back around after you get fire. and then burn it all. But we're speedrunners. Pretty much those fences don't have. Yeah. Okay. So what happened there was I took damage at the same time as collecting one of the fireflies earlier. For some reason, that glitches Spark at least in the beginning of the game to where that if I try to collect a life, it won't let me do it. Um, Same thing with any health. Sparks just won't collect it. I think it'll fix itself once we get into another level. I don't really know why it happens, but it happens sometimes, and that's why I said that earlier. I was like, oh, that might be bad. But typically, you collect that firefly at the same time as you dying. So you can collect fireflies while you're either jumping or gliding in the air if you can time it correctly. Okay, that's a little tight of a jump right there. And I forgot what I was talking about. So it's okay. There's a lot that's happening in this game. These imps in particular are usually random. They kind of run away from you and they just troll you. But these first two instances, we actually have a kind of manipulatable route for them. So we just do them. Pretty simple. I can't believe I did that, not some of the other stuff. But you're able to death warp at the end of Country Farms because you can collect the firefly. Okay. And die at the same time. And collecting a life is what fixes our life counter. So right there, when I died, I didn't game over. I went back to 5 lives. And that's part of what the glitch does. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was trying to go for something cool. You can do a little bit of a nice little jump there. You can spray that. Go over here and then jump. There we go. Part of what really got me into running this game is I kind of picked it up. I did some runs and I got an okay time. I got like sub 30. But I decided to just watch the task one day. There was like a really outdated task that was made. I don't even know how long ago, probably like 7 years ago or something at this point. I don't know. It's really, really old, but it has some really neat ideas in it. And I kind of just tried to practice and perform whatever they did in that task and use it in my runs. So yeah. But that wasn't too bad. So pretty much the goal of every stage is to just, there's a bunch of little things that we have to do, whether it's like burn something down or freeze something. There's sometimes like missions where we have to have people follow us somewhere. We don't do those ones in any percent, but there's just a bunch of little, arbitrary missions that we do and we get fireflies for them. And then there's also a certain amount of random roaming fireflies in all of the hub worlds, which there's 3 of them in all the other levels in the game. So right here, we have to hit these bombs into the water. A lot of these jumps that I'm making as well, these ram jumps, I don't want to say frame perfect because I don't want to toot my horn that much, but there's a lot of really tight jumps that you'll make. The perception of this game, like depth perception, is really wonky because it's a 2.5D game. It's not fully 3D, but it's not just 2D. So it looks really, really weird, and we'll see some interesting strats regarding that later. It's used a couple times to make just a few sections a little faster, like a couple seconds faster. This might not work. Okay, we're good. So if I hit that last bomb and then glide fast enough, I'll be able to not fall in the water. I'm just going to get this anyway because I don't really care. So this is the backup firefly that we would get if I skipped that hunter firefly because it's faster to actually do this one because you can also manipulate it. I'll just like skip one of the boring fireflies for you guys. We'll put on a show. All right, so we're just gonna collect these guys. I like to freeze him because he can troll me sometimes. Getting hit isn't that big of a deal typically, but there are some levels where I want to have some more health going into it, or sometimes enemies can hit you into the water and it's just a pain in the butt. You can also see how right there, uh, I'm jumping a lot. At the end of any of the stages, I'm going to jump and pause and land on the firefly. I do that just because it skips a cutscene, or it skips a text box. Sorry. Whoops. Let's see if I can still get this. All right. So I collect all. I didn't forgot to tell you at the beginning of the run, but I collect a certain amount of gems in particular places. I did at the beginning of the run, so that I didn't have to collect gems going into Shamrock Isle. And I do that because loading into the stages takes longer if you have any money for some reason. And it saves like 3 or 4 seconds if you have no gems compared to having even one. So, okay, that was good. So for this one, we just have to burn all these vines, I guess they are. I don't really know. We just have to burn these vines, light these statues. I always like to take the extra heal just in case. And I'm going to come down here, grab this. This is a little bit of a newer route, at least that I use. If you hurry that up, you can actually not get hit by him, but I did not hurry that up. Okay. And since this is a Game Boy game, there is still lag. You've probably noticed by now, but there's no music going on. The reason for that is because it's slow. Having music on, while the game music is good, it is slow. It loses probably, I want to say, at least 40 seconds, probably more than that though. And I say that because I didn't start doing runs with music off because I thought it was lame, but I didn't realize how much time it saved, and it really helped just melt time away in every single stage. There are a couple stages, especially late game, that you can do like audio glitches with. I don't know how to do them, nor do I care to, because I can just turn off the music and just save time everywhere. So, all right. So the point of the game, by the way, is just to collect the 75 fastest fireflies, and beat it. That's how any percent is. You can move a little bit at the beginning of all the boss fights, so I want to try and get as close to him as possible. That was actually pretty good. You can run for a little bit, and then you want to time a ram jump, right before he's about to stop you and start talking. So we're going to try going for a 1 cycle here. I don't think we're going to get it. Yeah. So I don't fully understand his patterns on how his ice balls work, but usually they'll shoot like how these two just did. But sometimes it might just be dependent on where Spyro's standing or where Spyro is when he decides to shoot the ice balls or something. But it can sometimes not be as easy as it just being on the left and right of Spyro. So it can kind of mess up that 2 cycle or that 1 cycle, but it's okay. So here I'm going to just make sure I don't collect any of those gems. So we don't have to watch that. And this stage uses a lot of those like weird depth perception things. So instead of like either running all the way up on top or jumping through the back and gliding, you can literally just jump straight down and save yourself with a glide like I did, just to get to the bottom. And we do that because we want to get these pumpkins. It's obviously not the intended way to start the level, but it's the fastest way because of the route. So, all right, so this is a really annoying strat that I have not been getting recently, so let's see if I can do it. All right, we're good. Okay, cool. So that is like a obstacle course. Has like enemies and really dumb stuff in it, kind of. And it's just a time-consuming thing, but you can just the hitbox for like the end of the the obstacle course extends past the platform in the water, so that's why we're able to make that jump. It's just pretty precise. So if I make a turn too early or too late, I can really miss it, and it's just a waste of time. You know what? I'll just skip this one. There we go. There's a firefly in there. I don't need it because I got an extra one. All right. Oh, and that was another instance of just waiting to use my glide for just for a little bit, so I can get to the stage faster. I golded that. Who knew? Okay. So now, as you saw earlier, I kind of like started flying through that. Whoops, that didn't work. I started flying through that door earlier in Haunted Hills. You can actually just run or fly through like any door as long as you don't hit that trigger. But the trigger is more so closer to the ground than it is in the air, so you're able to jump over it or fly over it. So you're able to just jump straight through the Haunted Hills door and go around. But I did a backup. It's fine. This is probably the hardest level in the game to me. There's a lot of really, really tight jumps to make here. So I'm going to try to do it for you guys because it looks really cool when it's done correctly. And these Frisbees guys are probably the bane of my existence, so... Alright, that was good. Those scientist enemies are on a cycle, actually, where they have, like, when they use their attack. Getting those first 2 jumps that I got on those little brown squares really helped make that cycle a lot easier and obviously faster. I'm just gonna go up here, clean that, break that at the same time, and hopefully look cool. Yeah, we're cool. And we're cool. 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 Oh, here. Aw. So a lot of the time, it's partially because I don't use GBI, which just helps with making sure your inputs don't get eaten. I just play this on Game Boy Player with a GameCube controller. But a lot of the time, that's not right. A lot of the time, oh wait, it is. Wait, I missed something. It's fine. It's fine. I don't know what I missed. Oh, I know what I missed. I said Candy Lane if it's not. I say Candyland a lot, don't I? I did miss a firefly in there. I'm like not. Alright, whatever. I got that jump. So this is Watertopia. That movement is actually pretty cool. Those platforms are really tight, so if I miss any of those jumps, I just will bonk. So good thing I didn't. So we just have to kill all of these enemies with the capes and swords. And right here, we did it earlier. I didn't mention it, but in Haunted Hill there was a fairy that they count as checkpoints in this game, and you want to skip them in some of them because we use death warps relatively often in this game. So I actually just skipped a fairy so that I didn't have to get the checkpoint. So at the end of this level, I can get to back to the beginning. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, I didn't get it. That's okay. So that hitbox actually stays out a little bit longer. You can get him like really, really early. But regardless of whenever you get him, you can like hit him and kill him, and then hit the hitbox again, and then it'll extend the like hurt box or whatever. It'll extend the animation, and you'll be able to get closer to the door. It's pretty cool. Over here. Same, similar situation with this firefly. You can glide and get that firefly at the same time, and then try to like die at the same time. It's pretty cool. The amount of stress there can be with this game. It's just hard because you have to make sure that you're in the right angle of that firefly and everything. That was a pretty good Watertopia. That was actually a gold, I think. But I don't know. So I'm going to try another strat. Didn't get it. That's okay. Alright. So we're just going to get some of these guys. And then we're going to work our way to Winter Mesa. This is a pretty cool level. This is one of the levels that really, like, I really benefited from watching some of the tasks. Even if it was like outdated gameplay and some like outdated strats and stuff, it had some really useful movement options in here for me to test out. Oh, that's unfortunate. Probably gonna get hit. Oh, I didn't get hit. That's cool. Okay, so this fire ability. There's 3 of these kinds of. Okay, I'll make sure I don't get hit by that. There's 3 different kinds of these abilities. They're just like upgrades. There's a fire, an ice, and an electric one. And they give you some missions where you have to use this fire to light the candles. And if you die, you have to redo everything, like redo all the candles. It's kind of annoying, but you can use that same fire to light the trees, so it all works pretty well together. Just light the candle, get the firefly. Pretty good. Yeah, Andy is that like alpaca looking dude at the beginning of the level. He like you have to do a really stupid mission where you have to like you have to guide him somewhere, and it's just so annoying. I'm gonna get an extra life just in case. So I already know what my extra firefly is going to be, so don't worry too much about it. I have a lot of backups now. I've been practicing my video game. Oh, that was a really good dismount. Another reason why it saves time other than we're just close to the boss is because the scrolling that it does from like going back and forth from Spyro and the boss is a lot less time. So for this fight, this is Gulp. We just have to make these rockets hit him, and then pick up the rockets, and then shoot it at him. Oh, I missed. What? It's kind of random, like how consistently he'll. Like sometimes he'll shoot 2 rockets. I got relatively lucky, but that wasn't the worst. Hello. The guys in this game, like all the NPCs. Ooh, that was nice. Okay. That was a good a good showcase of taking gliding to your advantage when it comes to like getting further in the worlds. Get that. Give me that. Yeah, this route's gonna be looking a little weird because we're a firefly behind, but it's okay. Despite the major issues we had at the beginning of the run, this is fine. So this is a really annoying stage in like 100% or really honestly any other category, but any percent it's pretty straightforward. I'm gonna get an extra. No, I'm not. I guess. Never mind. I'm gonna try and get some health. I'll get this one. Okay. No, he took it away from me. All right, bully. Fine. You just get those 3 roaming fireflies and then you just leave. Pretty simple. We're supposed to get that firefly that I got right before after this, but it's okay. We're gonna avoid some gems, go into Dreamy Castle. You'll also see me do a lot of ram jumping after I collect a firefly. It's pretty much like an easier version of doing the gliding, because gliding you can, if you do it perfectly, gliding I'm pretty sure you'll get more distance. But doing the ram jump collection is a lot easier, and it still is faster than just collecting the firefly. So I like to do that a lot. This is the same thing as that obstacle course in Haunted Hill, but 1,000,000,000,000,000 times easier. So, yeah. And by easier, I mean it's a lot harder. And I'm just really good at the game. There's a cool strat where you can do here. That when you collect the first firefly, you can trigger the NPC to start talking before the firefly text box shows up. Oh, that's unfortunate. Which saves time because you save a text box. But also, if you're close to any NPC, whenever you talk to an NPC, you don't actually hit a button to do it. It just starts talking to you depending on a hitbox. So when we're running, it cancels out that hitbox. That's why we're able to just like run past stuff, and why I stop running whenever I go up to people. And sometimes it'll like not talk to them. I guess I don't know. It's really weird and annoying. And if there's another text box up in front of it, then it'll like not overlay it. So if there's like if there is a door that I'm near and it's telling me what stage it is, it'll override the what the person's trying to tell me, and I'll have to like make the text box of the door go away before I can talk to the person. It's kind of annoying. All right, we're doing backup strats. So this is something that I learned in No Fire Breath. It's a new side category. If you hold the R button, that top right imp will get stuck. So it's pretty much just like a 3-man imp thing. I don't know their patterns. They don't have like a easy pattern to get, but this is a relatively quick. All right, yeah, he's good. Relatively quick one because he stays stuck there, so I just have to get those two, follow the third one, and then get the last one. It's a really safe backup if you know how to do that. All right, so now that we're doing that, we're back to 20%. I'm actually gonna hit this checkpoint because I think I'm gonna die, but we're gonna hope we don't die. I'm gonna play this a little safe because he likes to shoot you when you jump up there. And then we just have to kill these guys. Safest way to do it is to just jump and shoot fire at them so that you don't get hit by their attack. I think I have like 1 or 2 more hit points left. Alright, I have 1 more. To make sure I don't get hit by him. Alright, we're good. I was playing it a little safe just because I didn't want to die. Usually you'll just kind of run right up to it, but I didn't have enough health to do that. Alright, so now we have our 75, quote-unquote, fastest fairies in the game. And now we're going to go play or beat Ripto. So there's a really cool strat that you can do. You can just take the elevator like a normie, or you can do this, which is more cool. And just warp right up here. It's not faster, but it's cool. Loses like 2 seconds or something. So Ripto is supposed to be, you know, final boss, big bad, difficult strats. You're supposed to use all of the elements, all the upgraded elements, all that fun stuff. But I don't really feel like doing that. I kind of have a thing I gotta go do. So I'm gonna not do that. Oop, I messed it up though, so hold on. Okay. Now I'm gonna not do it. Oh, I messed up still. So this force field that he has in front of him, you can easily clip into it. And the same strat can be used in other instances in the game. It'll just make it so you can't really delay the game. Time is when the credits screen starts to roll. Um, it's in about like 20 seconds or something, or 10 seconds. I'll just say time, but and time. um, but yeah, so we can just jump and pause at the same time, which will clip us into Ripto's force field, and we can just ram into him 3 times, and that's it.
All right, GG, my dude.
GG's. I can't breathe, so
You can't
I was talking nonstop for
breathe.
minutes
Yeah,
and
dude, it
minutes.
was a jam-packed run,
Yeah,
and you did
man.
a really good job of commentating it. Again, I really like this GBA game in general. Are there any shout-outs you'd like to give?
Shout outs to Yadra, definitely. Yadra is like the person that made it so I could play this game. Um, this kind of game is hard for me to like learn and route and stuff because it's so hard to see everything. And she really helped me with guides and information about the game and faster strats and how to do things and everything like that. So definitely huge shout out to Yadra. Uh, uh, that's pretty much it out of all the people that play Season of Flame. Shoutouts to any of the other Spyro handheld gamers because that's the only Spyro that I know. So I relate. Um, if you are at all interested in picking up this game is on emulator. You can get a Game Boy player. You can just play on like DS, whatever. We have lots of. I have guides. Yadra has guides. We're adding more categories to the leaderboard, and it's a really freaking cool run, and I really like it. So thanks
Yeah,
for
for
letting me share
sure.
with it.
No, thank you for running it, and I just want to reiterate, if you're interested, be sure to join the Spyro speedrunning server. The handheld section of that server is actually pretty active, all things considered.
Yeah.
Uh, and like you said, I'm sure there's a bunch of people willing to help out. So thank you again for doing that run. It was a lot of fun. And next up, we have uh, Jake and Take doing his any percent run of Attack of the Rhinox. So be sure to stick around for that.